Inside Frankie's mind, why Flick's Barcelona could finally make sense.
Over. This one is played in. It's Frenkie de Jong, who this time doesn't miss.
And he's a fantastic player, also for...
Frenkie de Jong with the curler! Frenkie de Jong with the goal!
What if I told you Barcelona's smartest player wasn't misunderstood, just misplaced? In 2022, Barcelona tried to sell him. In 2024, fans booed him. But in 2025, he signed a new deal until 2029 and silenced everyone, from being written off to being compared with Pirlo. This is how Frenkie de Jong became the mind Barcelona almost lost. The twist? It only took a German coach who understood the rhythm of chaos. We're witnessing the best version of Frenkie de Jong since Ajax. The paradox? It took 6 long seasons, a revolving door of coaches, and a lot of criticism from Barcelona to finally unlock what they paid €86 million for. When he arrived in 2019, PSG fought till the final hour, but the Messi factor tipped the scales. He was supposed to be Busquets' leader, calm, intelligent, untouchable. Yet somehow, in a club built on rhythm, Frenkie never found his tempo. Every coach saw something different. Valverde boxed him in, Koeman tried to free him, Xavi made him the runner. And fans? Well, they saw a €400,000 a week overpaid player. What nobody understood was that he wasn't failing. He was just misunderstood. Flick said in an interview, "Frenkie is world-class. The team needs him. I need him." Few believed him. Most thought it was politics, but this was the turning point. He doesn't play faster, he plays smarter. And in Flick's system, intelligence finally mattered. Frankie's football brain works differently. Where others see pressure, he sees rhythm. He holds the ball longer, not to slow down play, but to manipulate it. In the 2023-24 season, Frenkie averaged 9.2 progressive carries per 90 minutes, ranking in the top 1% of European midfielders. He completed 92.4% of his passes under pressure, a rate higher than Toni Kroos and Rodri. That's pure control. Coaches say he lacks defensive skills. There aren't enough tackles and interceptions, but look deeper, he averaged just 1.1 tackles per 90 because he positions himself to prevent tackles. His ball recovery timing is 6.8 recoveries per game. That puts him among the elite in Spain's top flight. Because when he moves, it's always in the right place. It's called defensive anticipation, the Cruyffian principle of reading danger 3 passes early. Frenkie lives by that code. He's not Busquets, he's not Verratti, he's something else. A free-thinking register caught in a world that worships structure. He breaks pressing lines not with long diagonals, but with body feints. In 2024, he led La Liga midfielders in progressive distance carried per touch, which shows how his movement bends the geometry of pressing traps. He carries like Iniesta, passes like Pirlo, and glides like Cruyff. And yet, he was never allowed to own the rhythm. At Ajax, the game waited for him, says a former teammate. At Barcelona, he was told to wait for the game. But under Flick, the ball waits again. Flick's transitions demand midfielders who think, not react. And Frankie's slow burn intelligence suddenly became the engine of speed. He's no longer adapting to tempo, he creates it. So the truth is, under Flick, that equation flipped. Under Xavi, control meant restriction. Positions had to be occupied, lines had to be maintained. Frankie's fluid nature, his instinct to drift, carry, dictate, clashed with Xavi's positional strategy. He looked forward when the system wanted him to play sideways. He trusted instinct in a team built on patterns. Xavi's model revolved around static occupation of zones. the pauser philosophy of old Barca, where the ball moved, not the player. Frenkie, on the other hand, thrived on motion, dragging markers, driving past the first press, turning defense into transition. Even his passing numbers told the story. Fewer forward passes than at Ajax and almost twice as many backward ones. It wasn't a flaw, it was his instincts being held back by tactics. Fans started calling him overpaid. The board tried to sell him to Manchester United for €75 million, a deal that would have solved Barca's wage crisis. But he said no. He refused the Premier League wages, the easier route and the comfort of starting fresh. "I always dreamed of playing for Barca," he said later. "Now that I'm here, I wanted to continue that dream." People at the club said he'd often stay late, still trying to fit into a system that didn't really fit him. When Busquets started slowing down, everyone thought Frenkie would take over, but Xavi wanted an anchor, not a conductor. The irony is the player Xavi couldn't fit became the one Flick couldn't function without. Here's how Hansi Flick brought clarity and control in the picture. A 4-2-3-1 system where instinct was structured, where Frenkie's scanning, movement and risk-taking finally became part of the plan, not mistakes to correct. Flick's philosophy is built on vertical compactness, tighter lines, quicker rotations, and anticipation before chaos. He doesn't want Frenkie to anchor the game, he wants him to breathe life into it, drifting into half spaces, setting the tempo, and leading the first press after every turnover. When Frenkie returned from injury in October 2024, Flick didn't rush him. He rebuilt him. Personalized recovery plans, mental resets, short bursts of play. That's how precise patience paid off. Frenkie now runs the rondo accelerations, where thinking faster matters more than moving faster. For the first time, his calm wasn't seen as delay, it was seen as control. Flick called him the brain between the lines. By the time Barcelona met Dortmund in the Champions League quarter-finals, Frenkie was unrecognizable. 97% passing accuracy, 11.4 kilometers covered, 5 out of 6 ground duels won. He completed 16 progressive carries, the highest by any midfielder that night, and created 4 secondary assists in build-up. Statistically, he averaged 10.3 line-breaking passes per 90 under Flick, up from 6.7 under Xavi. A transformation that reflects both freedom and trust. And for the first time in years, nobody talked about him, because he made everything else make sense. He's no longer a piece in the system, says Albert Blyer. He is the system. It's rare when a player and coach think in the same rhythm, but Flick and Frenkie, they share the same football mindset: patience, intelligence, precision. Flick saw what others missed, that Frenkie's calm wasn't passive, it was predictive. He reads the press before it forms, the space before it opens. That's a clever calculation. Flick didn't try to turn him into Busquets. He built a new structure around Frenkie's identity, a midfield that breathes with Pedri, thinks with De Jong, and attacks with rhythm. In Flick's setup, Frenkie starts the press and ends the possession. He averages over 80 touches per match and leads the team in line-breaking carries. Now, Frenkie's become more than a player. He's the captain in motion. He's the link between the old Barcelona and the new one, between heritage and evolution. His partnership with Pedri is fearless, frightening, echoing Xavi and Iniesta, but with modern aggression. We totally agree with Flick when he said, "With a midfield like this, we can dominate world football for the next 5 years." In 2025, he signed the deal many thought would never happen, a new contract until 2029. From being almost sold to becoming the cornerstone of Flick's revolution, this isn't just a comeback story. It's a redefinition of control, composure, and courage. It's not about speed, Frenkie once said, it's about timing. And maybe, after 6 long years, Barcelona finally found his. If you love football, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because here, football never sleeps. New videos drop every week, and tell us in the comments, has Hansi Flick finally unlocked the real Frenkie de Jong? Or has the world still not caught up to his game?